Hi YouTube, my name is Chioma and I'm coming to you today to share some tips that I have collected throughout my healthy living journey that I am going to share with you guys in hopes that this will motivate you guys to take charge of your health or at least be a little bit more concerned or aware of the foods that you put into your body. Just a little bit of a background about me. In the summer of 2011, I lost 18 pounds and toned up 6 pounds of muscle. And I found out that, or I realize now, how I've been able to maintain that weight loss has been strictly related to what I've been eating. I grew up playing sports, started off with soccer, that led into track, and then that led into volleyball. So you can imagine the crazy number of calories I was burning year round, and food was never really something I thought about as long as it provided me energy for my track meet, my soccer game, my volleyball match. I ate it. I didn't realize the importance of nutrition until I got to college and discovered what the Freshman 15 was. So that's what kind of sparked a little bit more interest in me studying nutrition, because I'm thinking, okay, here I am still working out. Why am I gaining weight? But I wasn't burning those extra couple thousand calories that I was normally burning when I was in high school when I was playing competitively. So here are some tips that I have found very useful that hopefully can help you guys. So let's jump right into it. Tip number 1. Okay, you need to plan your meals. In America, we are an on-the-go society that loves to get things quick. We don't like to wait, and that is why fast food restaurants thrive here, because it's so much easier to just pull your car up at a fast food restaurant, wait a couple minutes, get your food, instead of you coming home and cooking something or going to the grocery store to buy something to cook. So what you need to do is you need to plan your meals ahead of time. That way you're not falling victim to that vending machine at work, or you're not hitting that fast food restaurant around the corner from your job. If you aren't planning your meals, you're basically going throughout your day just kind of being easily influenced by anything around you. So if you smell something, if you see your coworker eating something, you are more likely to want to eat what they're eating, or you're more likely to just like pull your car around that fast food restaurant to get some food. So planning your meals are extremely important. If I know that I have food prepared at home, I will drive straight home because I know I'm going to save myself some money and I can just eat whatever is at home. I also bring snacks with me. I stuff them in my backpack. I put them in my purse. That way I'm able to kind of control my appetite throughout my day, and I'm not just snacking on whatever I can get my hands on. All right. Tip number 2, moderation. Moderation is so important because you're able to still enjoy some foods that you love, but you're not overeating and you're not binge eating on foods that you know you should not be kind of indulging in every day. My weakness are French fries, ice cream. I'm Nigerian. I love jollof rice. I love meat pie. I love buff, fufu. All those comfort foods. So I know that if I go to a Nigerian party with my family, I don't have to sit in a corner and eat salad, because I can still eat that small portion of rice, that small portion of fufu, that small portion of meat pie, or that small order of French fries, whatever the case may be. You don't need to completely deprive yourself of foods you love, but you also don't need to eat things in a surplus either. Just because you see that there's a surplus of food does not mean that you need to take 2 or 3 servings. So moderation is basically being able to balance out healthy living by still being able, or healthy eating, and still being able to squeeze in or being able to indulge in foods you love. By having a small amount of that food that you love eating, you're not completely depriving yourself of foods you love, because that's when you start having binge eating episodes where you find yourself going maybe like 8 months without having your favorite piece of cake, and you go to a wedding and there is a monster size of your favorite cake. And what do? You want to have like 4 or 5 slices of that cake. So you do not want to punish yourself by removing foods you love. Foods make you happy. Food makes me happy. So I would hate to go through life just not being able to enjoy foods that I love. All right, so tip number 3. Okay, do not adopt every single Hollywood diet that you hear out there. Celebrities are known for going under extreme measures to look a certain way. They make money off of how they look on the outside. And just because it works for some celebrity, you don't know all the things that they're doing in order for them to lose that weight, or for them to bulk up, or in order for them to gain weight, whatever the case may be. So what happens with a lot of diets is that it completely cuts out some of those major food groups that you need, like carbs, protein, or healthy fats. And what it does is that, and it also calls for you not to eat hardly anything. So what happens to your body is that it goes into starvation mode. And what that means is that because you're not feeding your body adequately and you're not feeding your body frequently, it's thinking like, okay, I need to hold on to any kind of calories that you feed me, because it's thinking it does not know when it will be fed again. So instead of you burning those calories throughout your day, you find yourself weak and your body is just holding on to all those calories, and then it starts to be stored as fat. That's why when you see people who go on these extreme diets and then they finally get off of that diet, they gain weight just as fast and just as quick. Just as fast and just as much, because their body's just like, let me hold on to anything. Let me just hold on to anything. So you do not want to just adopt any kind of diet. Diets don't work. In my opinion, it's all about making that lifestyle change, because that will give you long-term results. Diets only give you short-term results, and they do not prepare you for what happens when you are in the real world. What happens when you're back at work or back at school? You might not have all of these your diet may not be as accessible. So what you need to do is you need to train your body or your mind into knowing what works for you. So do not just adopt any kind of diet out there, because most likely diets do not work. All right, rule number 4. Okay, so you need to set realistic goals for yourself. Giving yourself a goal like I will never eat desserts again are unrealistic and quite cruel, in my opinion. So maybe instead of having desserts 6 times a week, you can cut down to having desserts maybe twice a week. So just kind of compromising and finding a happy medium for yourself. If your goal is to lose weight, giving yourself a goal of losing maybe 50 pounds in a month is just unrealistic and really unhealthy if you do accomplish to lose that amount of weight without gastric bypass surgery. So you need to just set goals for yourself that are achievable in your lifestyle. I'm not by any means telling you guys to not aim high, but you want to be able to set goals that are definitely attainable for you, because you don't want to get in a slump where you do not meet that goal and then you start to retract and go and slip back into old habits and get discouraged as far as achieving your goals. So set realistic goals for yourself. Don't take on somebody else's goal just because they find that it works for them. Find out what works for you. All right, tip number 5. You need to read the nutrition labels. You cannot just assume that whatever is on the front of that product that you're buying is 100% honest, because nowadays there are so many media gimmicks and so many ways that manufacturers are able to market their products as being healthy when in reality they're not. So you need to read those nutrition labels, because that is where the facts are, and that is where you will really see whether that product is healthy or not. Just because a product says it's fat-free, take a look at its sugar content. Just because a product says that it's sugar-free, take a look at its fat content. Take a look at its sodium content. There's ways to kind of compensate for that that loss of taste by adding in something that is probably not as healthy for you. Just because it says fat-free and it's loaded with sugar, sugar can make you gain weight, because if you're not burning those calories, it will get stored as fat. And that is what a lot of people are being deceived with, but companies are still being able to put that fat-free label on there. So I know it can get very, very confusing, but your best bet is to just read the nutrition label and to just read those facts for yourself and see whether that is something that fits into your diet. So like I said before, you guys, hopefully this will motivate you guys to kind of take charge in increasing your health. Nutrition is extremely important, and one of those things where it can be hard to figure out, just because you hear so many things out there about what you should be eating, what you shouldn't be eating, all these new diet fads and all these new products to try. But I found myself to be successful by just researching stuff on my own and finding out what works for my body and what works for my lifestyle. So hopefully this movie was helpful for you guys, or this video was helpful for you guys. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them below. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.